All right. Welcome to the Real Bible Study. For those who don't know me, my name is Danielle, and I am your Bible study facilitator. This week, we will be in Exodus 31 and 32 in its entirety. But as we do every week, we're going to open with our prayer. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Lord, open our eyes
Lord, open our eyes.
Open your eyes.
Wow.
so we can see something we've never saw before.
So we can see something we never saw before.
Open our ears
Open
Open
our
our
ears
ears
so we can hear something we've never heard before.
so we can hear something
to
we
see
never
something
heard
we never
before.
heard before.
I love it. And open our hearts
And open our
Open
hearts
our heart
so we can receive something we've never received before.
so we can receive something we
something
never
we've
received.
never heard before.
Received before. Amen.
Amen.
All right. I love it. So are we ready for Exodus 31? So I'm going to read aloud while you guys read silently. We ready?
Yes.
All right. The Lord also spoke to Moses. Look, I have appointed by name Bezaleel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with God's spirits, with wisdom, understanding, and ability in every craft, to design artistic works in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut gemstones from mountain, and to carve wood for work in every craft. I have also selected Aholiab, son of Ashamak of the tribe of Dan, to be with him. I have put wisdom in the heart of every skilled artisan in order to make all that I have commanded you. The tent of meeting, the ark of the testimony, the mercy seat that is on top of it, and all the other furnishings of the tent. Somebody not on mute. The table with its utensils, the pure gold lampstand, and all its utensils, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering with all its utensils, the basin with its stand, the specially woven garments, both the holy garments for the priest Aaron and the garments for his sons to serve as priests, the anointing oil and the fragrant incense for the sanctuary. They must make them according to all that I have commanded you. The Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites, you must observe my Sabbaths, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, so that you will know that I am Lord who consecrates you. Observe the Sabbath, for it's holy to you. Whoever profanes it must be put to death. If anyone does not work on it, that person must be cut off from his people. Work may be done for 6 days, but on the seventh day, there must be a Sabbath of complete rest, holy to the Lord. Anyone who does work on the Sabbath day must be put to death. The Israelites must observe the Sabbath, celebrating it throughout their generations as a permanent covenant. It is a sign forever between me and the Israelites. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth. But on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. When he finished speaking with Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave him the 2 tablets of the testimony, the stone tablets, and they were inscribed by the finger of God. All right, ladies. So if I had to put a title to this week's lesson, I am gonna I would title it A Gift and a Curse. A Gift and a Curse. I love a good TV series. And when someone says, Danielle, I have found a new show, you have to watch it. Now I'm going to be honest here. Lately, I have no time to watch a new series. And I will tell you that when you give me, and I will tell you just that when you give me a suggestion. However, earlier in the week, my sister called my husband and told him about this show on Hulu called The Bear. I saw my husband watching this show, and it starts with a guy letting a bear out of a cage. I said, what in the world are you watching? He said something that Ashley said was good. It's called The Bear. Ladies, lesson number 1. Don't judge a show by its title. Because I'm trying to tell you, it's so good. So good, in fact, that when we watched the whole first season on Tuesday. Additionally, I was mad when I found out that this particular show beat out Abbott Elementary in the Golden Globes this year. Because I like that show. And if you've ever watched it, it is so funny. With that being said, lesson number 2. Before you pout because your show didn't win, Watch the show that did to see if you can see and understand why. The Bear is an American comedy drama television series, and it's created by Christopher Storer, and it premiered on June the 23rd, 2022. And it stars Jeremy Allen White, and he's as a young award-winning chef who returns to his hometown of Chicago to manage the chaotic kitchen of his deceased brother. He owned a sandwich shop, leaving behind his world of working in a Michelin 5-star restaurant. So in case you didn't know what that is, it's like the best. And he had to deal with his brother's unresolved debts, a horrible, disgusting, filthy kitchen, and an unruly staff who fights him every step of the way over every change that he wants to implement. Carmi is what they call him, Bezaleel, Bear. It's not your typical chef. When you look at him on paper, on one hand, he has a gift that his family, friends, and his staff doesn't quite understand. They don't appreciate it, or for the most part, they don't accept it because his gift doesn't look like it's how they want it to look. And his gift allows him to be different. So they don't want to accept him. They try to sabotage him and they won't listen. So he finds himself fighting and having to defend every decision and sometimes even conceding because they want to do what they have been doing, which takes me to our reading for tonight. We find some men that have a gift and are treated great because of it. And then we find a man that is cursed because of his gift. Let's dive in. In Exodus 31, 1-6, who are the gifted ones that God calls for service? So in 31, 1-6, who are the gifted ones?
Bezaleel of Uri.
Yep, and who else?
And son of her.
Yep, yes. God called Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. God filled him with his spirit, his wisdom, his understanding, and his knowledge, an ability to craft with his hands, with art, gold, silver, bronze, to cut jewels and to carve wood. God also called Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach from the tribe of Dan, to work with him, and he made him wise as well. Everyone that was gifted, God made wise. Let's park here. God called these men specifically, just as he called Moses and he called Aaron, and he's calling you, because we are all gifted in our own way. What I love about God is that he knows what he will need, and he prepares for that now. When I looked up the definition of will, it says expressing the future tense. My first point is God is gifting you now for your future because he knows what is coming. We don't be patient and wait and see what and how God shows the world the gift he puts in us. Just like in the show, Carmi didn't know why he was going to school to be a chef. He thought he was going to work in that 5-star restaurant forever. He would never have known that he would have to use his gift to work in his brother's sandwich shop. Hebrews 12:11 says, now discipline always seems painful rather than pleasant at the time, but late it yields fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. That is Hebrews 12:11. Now discipline always seems painful rather than pleasant at the time, but late it yields fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. I also wanted to say it really brought something to my attention as well. So for Christmas, my son's family gave me a gift that I never expected. And I said, what in the world is in this bag? It's heavy, because what I asked for I knew was light, but what they gave me was heavy. So when I opened it, I was shocked. Y'all, they gave me a podcast mic. Here's the mic. They gave me a podcast mic and they gave me speakers. And I was like, oh my God, I've never in my life even thought to ask for anything like that. And he said, Ma, we gotta invest in the vessel, right? So here they were sowing a seed into something that I didn't even think, dream, or imagine that I would need. Fast forward to last Thursday, after I told y'all that I love to be in the bathroom, and that's where I pray and have a good time with Jesus. So last Friday morning, I was in the bathroom getting ready for work, and I woke up. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm in the bathroom, y'all, just brushing my teeth, look to go spit my toothpaste in the sink, and I come up, I look at myself in the mirror, and I hear God just as clear. And he said, start you a podcast. Now, in my mind, look at God. Here he already had Shamar sowing a seed, and I didn't even know what he was giving me this mic for. And I was like, oh, this is a great gift. I can't wait to use it with the vessel. But God already put the seed in him to be a blessing to me, not for where I am now, but for where I'm going. So be careful, ladies, of how you treat people, because you never know why they're giving you or offering you something, because you might not see it because for what it is today, but what you might need is for what's coming tomorrow. So in Exodus 31, 7 through 11, what did the gifted have to build? What did the gifted have to build in Exodus 31, 7 through 11?
The tabernacle?
Everything. Everything. We just going to say everything. They had to build the tabernacle, the ark of the testimony, the mercy seat, all of the furnishings inside of the tent, the table with all of its utensils, the pure gold, the lampstand with the oil, all of its utensils that went with that, the altar of the incense and the burnt offerings with its utensils, the basin with its stand, the holy garments for Aaron and his sons, the anointing oil and the fragrant incense for the sanctuary. Everything. Let's park here. God was very specific about what and how he wanted these things built. So, of course, he was going to be specific with who he chose to execute his plans. God wouldn't choose a farmer to deliver a baby or a doctor to build a house. He knows what we can do, and he wouldn't put more on us than we can bear. Just like in the show, he knew Kwame could handle the obstacles that would come his way when he returned home to his brother's sandwich shop. He knew if he stayed the course and looked at the bigger picture, he would accomplish what God called him to do. Stay the course, ladies. Have faith, and you will see why you had to go through what you are going through. 2 Corinthians 5 and 7 says, we walk by faith, not by sight. Pastor Fanika Friend says, we got to see what we can't see until we can see it. We got to see what we can't see until we can see it. In Exodus 31, 12 through 17, what did God tell the gifted people they had to do on the seventh day?
Rest.
They had to rest. They had to take a day of rest. Even though we live under New Testament law, we still need a day of rest, a day to refuel, to get energized, to regroup, to gather our thoughts. Everybody's day of rest may look different. For me, I like to go and get my nails done. Something that I can do just for me. And if your budget doesn't include that at this time, go sit in the bathtub. And if you can't because you got a family to take care of, then you're going to have to get up earlier in the morning to do something for you. Ladies, we can't keep making excuses for why we can't take the time for us. And if you didn't realize it, you do it once a week for 1 hour when you take this hour for yourself to come to the Real Bible study, where you get refueled and energized. I love the testimonies I receive from you when you say, I go to sleep with a smile on my face. I feel so much better after Bible study. And I love to hear how you are putting these lessons into action. See, ladies, you are no longer an empty vessel. You are gifted and you are chosen. Acts 9 and 15 says, but the Lord said to him, go your way, for she is a chosen vessel to me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and the kings. In Exodus 31 and 18, what did God give to Moses? What did he give him in verse 18?
The tablets?
The tablets. Yes, Miss Maria. He gave him the 2 tablets of stone with the 10 commandments written with the finger of God. What a gift that was given to Moses. And what is so special about this gift is it wasn't just for him, but for all of the children of Israel. Let's park here. Ladies, the gift that God has in you, it's not just for you, but it's for many to be blessed from it. If you ever had my mother's potato salad, and a lot of you on this call has, it is something special. I have heard people say, you can taste the love in it. That is her gift. And she doesn't mind sharing it with anyone who asks her. Some people bake with love or paint with love. Whatever they do, you can feel the love from that experience that you have from it. 1 John 4:10 says, for this is love. Not that we loved God, but that he loved us. And he sent his son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Just like your gift can be a blessing, it can also be a curse, especially if you allow it to fall in the wrong hands. As the show continues, Carmi is not only dealing with an unruly staff, but his own pain and his own family trauma. So he is constantly questioned about the decisions he's making. And people will say things like, well, that's not what we was taught. That's not how we used to do it. And I know you went to that fancy school, but how did that work out well for you? We don't want that version of you. We want the version that we used to know. We don't want this new version of you because this version of you won't work here. Just like Aaron in Exodus 32, he has a gift and a call, but the Israelites see a crack in his faith and use it to turn his gift into a curse. Let's dive in. So before we go on to 32, is it anything that you want to discuss in 31? Anything you need me to go back over? Anything that you want to go over from 31, or are we ready to move to 32? We ready? Okay, good. Because 32 kind of long, y'all. So I'm gonna try to get us through it. When the people saw that Moses delayed in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said to him, come, make gods for us who will go before us, because this Moses, the man who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. Aaron replied to them, take off the gold rings that are on the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. So all the people took off the gold rings that were on their ears and brought them to Aaron. He took the gold from them, fashioned it with an engraving tool, and made it into an image of a calf. Then they said, Israel, these are your gods who brought you up from the land of Egypt. When Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of it and made an announcement. There will be a festival to the Lord tomorrow. Early the next morning, they arose, offered burnt offerings, and presented fellowship offerings. The people sat down to eat and drink, and they got up to party. The Lord spoke to Moses, go down at once. For your people you brought up from the land of Egypt have acted corruptly. They have quickly turned from the way I commanded them. They have made for themselves an image of a calf. They have bowed down to it, sacrificed to it, and said, Israel, these are your gods who brought you up from the land of Egypt. The Lord also said to Moses, I have seen these people, and they are indeed a stiff-necked people. Now leave me alone so that my anger can burn against them and I can destroy them. Then I will make you into a great nation. But Moses sought the favor of the Lord his God. Lord, why does your anger burn against your people? You brought out the land of Egypt with great power and a strong hand. Why should the Egyptians say, he brought them out with an evil intent to kill them in the mountains and eliminate them from the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce anger and relent concerning this disaster planned for your people. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, You swore to them by yourself and declared, I will make your offspring as numerous as the stars of the sky, and will give your offspring all this land that I have promised, and they will inherit it forever. So the Lord relented concerning the disaster he said he would bring on his people. Then Moses turned and went down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hands. They were inscribed on both sides, inscribed front and back. The tablets were the work of God, and the writing was God's writing engraved on the tablets. When Joshua heard the sound of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, there is a sound of war in the camp. But Moses replied, it's not the sound of a victory cry, and not the sound of a cry of defeat. I hear the sound of singing. As he approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, Moses became enraged and threw the tablets out of his hands, smashing them at the base of the mountain. He took the calf they had made, burnt it up, and ground it into powder. He scattered the powder over the surface of the water and forced the Israelites to drink the water. Then Moses asked Aaron, what did these people do to you that you have led them into such grave sin? Don't be enraged, my Lord, Aaron replied. You yourself know that the people are intent on evil. They said to me, make gods for us who will go before us, because this Moses, the man who brought us from the land of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. So I said to them, whoever has gold, take it off. And they gave it to me. When I threw it into the fire, it came out the calf. Moses saw that the people were out of control, for Aaron had led them. Because Aaron had let them get out of control, making them a laughingstock to their enemies. And Moses stood at the camp's entrance and said, whoever is for the Lord, come to me. And all the Levites gathered around him. He told them, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Every man fasten his sword to his side, go back and forth through the camp from entrance to entrance, and each of you kill his brother, his friend, and his neighbor. The Levites did as Moses commanded, and about 3,000 men fell dead that day among the people. Afterward, Moses said, today you have been dedicated to the Lord, since each man went against his son and his brother. Therefore, you have brought a blessing on yourselves today. The following day, Moses said to the people, you have committed a grave sin. Now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I will be able to atone for your sin. So Moses returned to the Lord and said, oh, these people have committed a great sin. They have made a god of gold for themselves. Now, if you would only forgive their sin, but if not, please erase me from the book you have written. The Lord replied to Moses, whoever has sinned against me, I will erase from my book. Now go, lead the people to the place I told you about. See, my angel will go before you. But on the day I settle account, I will hold them accountable for their sin. And the Lord inflicted a plague on the people for what they did with that calf Aaron had made. In Exodus 32:1, what request was made by the Israelites of Aaron? What did they request of him?
To make him a god.
To make them a god. They wanted to make a god that could come before them, because Moses, the man that brought them out of Egypt, they haven't seen him. Moses was on the mountain for 40 days. He may have been delayed, but his delay should not have been interpreted as an act of desertion. Let's park here. Hebrews 11:1 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The Israelites should have had faith that Moses would return, because the other things that God told them he would do, he did. However, they did like most of us. When something doesn't happen when and how we want it, we tend to look for our answers in other things. For them, it was another God. For us, it could be other people, money, and addictions. We make the conscious decision to choose something else. Just like in the show, Carmi made the conscious decision to allow these people to use part of him, but not all of him. If I was Carmi, I would have told them, you can't have my gift to cook if you don't want my gift to manage. You can't have my gift to cook if you don't want my gift to manage. You can't have part of me if you don't want all of me. In Exodus 32, 2 through 4, what was Aaron's response? What was Aaron's response?
He told him to use his wife's earrings.
Break off the gold earrings of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. He took the gold from their hands and attached an engraving tool and made a molded calf and said, "This is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt." But do you remember back in Exodus 25, verses 1 through 7, God told Moses to receive a free will offering of materials to build his tabernacle. But before he could return from the mountain, Aaron received this offering and he made an idol. And he attached an engraving tool to it. Let's park here. Aaron allowed what should have been his gift of leadership to be turned into a curse, because he allowed the people to talk him into forgetting what was God's plan. At the first sign of someone stroking his ego by admiring his creation, not God's creation, he jumped at it. He knew what God said about worshiping other gods because he was there when he said it. But he decided to be a leader that led by following popular opinion instead of crying out, "Nope, not me. This is idolatry. We're not going to be able to do this. We got to wait on God and Moses." Isaiah 40 and 31 says, "But they will wait for the Lord. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." In Exodus 32, 5 through 6, what did Aaron do next? What did Aaron do next?
Was that the burnt offering?
He made the altar. Yep. He made an altar and told the Israelites that tomorrow we're going to have a feast to the Lord. And they rose early the next day, offered burnt offerings, and they brought peace offerings. The Israelites sat down to eat and drink and play. If it couldn't get any worse with Aaron's lack of leadership, he decides to build an altar for sacrifice. Not only did he make the idol, but he made an altar to worship the idol. Isn't it funny, though, that they rose early with no problem to come and prepare for this feast? But if we remember back when they was asking them to do the things that Moses and the Lord was asking them to do, they had to pull teeth to get them to do these things. Which leads me to my next point. People find time to do what they want, when they want, and for what they want. Let's park here. As the show continues, Carmi's sister tells him that he needs help handling his pain and his grief, and he should talk to someone. And of course, he made every excuse why he couldn't. I can't. I got to get this business back together. These people trying to come and get us. I got this payroll. I got these people underneath of me. I got to do all this stuff. But it took him to wake up from sleepwalking where he was cooking in his kitchen and almost burnt down his house to go and get help. The children of Israel heard God not 2 months prior speaking the 10 Commandments to them. And they spoke out loudly in Exodus 24 and 7, if y'all remember. He then took the covenant scroll and read it aloud to the people. They responded, "We will do and obey all that the Lord has commanded." How quick we forget. I see the curse of Aaron's gift didn't just affect him, but the people that he was supposed to lead. Ladies, don't allow your gift to be used in any other way than what God wants you to use it. Trust God and he won't fail you. Psalms 34 and 41 says, seek the Lord. And I sought the Lord and he heard me and he delivered me from all my fears. In Exodus 32, 7 through 8, what did God tell Moses to do next? tell them to do?
Go down to the mountain.
Yes, Lord. He said, go down for them, those people, they your people that you brought out of the land of Egypt. They have corrupted themselves. They turned away from me quickly and the way that I commanded them to go. They made themselves a molded calf. They worshiped it and sacrificed it and said, this is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. My God, look at this. The first thing God said was to Moses that these are your people. Because surely they not mine. Soon as they saw an out, they took it and they turned away from me and had the nerve to say that this calf is the God that brought them out of the land of Egypt. All that it took to get them out of there. They're going to say that this calf did all of that? Let's park here. Because God said your people, he was disowning the very people that he called chosen. And I don't know about you, but I would much rather be a chosen child of God than have someone else call me theirs. When God calls you, that means he chose you for a specific gift or purpose. And it's great because he doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. That was by Mark Batterson. In Exodus 32, 9 through 10, what did God offer to Moses? What did he offer to Moses to do in verses 9 through 10?
I would say he was going to destroy them.
That's what he said, Story. And what else? Anybody else? He said these people are hard-headed, and because of this, leave me alone, so that my wrath may burn against them, and I can consume them, and I will make you a great nation. God had had enough, and he gave Moses an offer. If Moses agreed, he would consume Israel and start over again with Moses still at the head and still make him a great nation. But let's park here. Carmi had so many people try to buy the restaurant from him, but he kept saying, no, I can't. I cannot abandon my brother's business and the people who work there. See, Carmi felt responsible for how they were going to pay their bills and provide for their families. He could have took the easy way out, took the money, paid off the debt, and go back to his 5-star restaurant. But I feel he thought that if he didn't finish the work that he was called to do, that he would have failed. Like Carmi, Moses was a great leader because he didn't want to leave his people, the very ones that God trusted him with, to start over. I think Moses felt like, let me stick with the crazy I know. I don't know what I might get if I got to start over. Because if I got to start over, do I got to try to free these people again? Can I just stop? Can I just be here and we work this out? Ladies, don't let people curse your gift to the point that you feel like giving up on it. Yeah, sometimes we might need to start over, but start over because you want to, not because somebody else wanted for you or because you got to start over because of something that they did. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. That's Galatians 6 and 9. In Exodus 32, 11 through 14, what did Moses do next?
He questioned God.
Yes, Shantanese. He intercedes for Israel. He asks God, but why does your wrath burn hot against your people? I mean, these are the same people you brought out of Israel with great power and with a mighty hand. Do you want them to say, why would God bring us out of Egypt to harm us, to kill us in the mountains, and to consume them from the earth? Instead, don't be angry and don't harm your people. Remember the promise you gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, the ones you swore yourself, that I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven, and all of this land that I have spoken, I give to your descendants forever. Yeah. And God changed his mind. Thank God for Moses, because he said, oh, I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. I got to intercede on their behalf. He said, no, no, these are your people, the same ones that you brought out of Egypt when we didn't even deserve it. So don't stop showing us grace now. I don't want your name to be discredited in the eyes of your people. I don't want them to think that you are not a man of your word and you don't keep your promises, because guess what? The enemy is watching. Let's park here. Moses was brave, and we know his relationship with God had to be great because he was able to have a tough conversation with God. Look at how much Moses has grown, though, because here is a man that didn't even want to talk in the beginning or felt like he could lead. And now he is pleading the case for others and being a great leader. God will use your gift to strengthen you, to empower you, and to grow you. Just
That's
like
good stuff
Carmi.
right there. That's
Yeah,
good right there, Dale. Thank you.
You're right. Just like Carmi, he might have left to go to a cooking school to learn the craft, but the gift was already in him. God used what was in him to make him greater. 1 Peter 4:10 says, each of you should use whatever the gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. In Exodus 32:15-18, what did Moses do next? I might speed it up because it's kind of long and I want to get us through it.
He was pissed. He went down there and started
Yes,
burning stuff, throwing
yes,
tablets.
yes. He went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the 10 commandments in his hand. Joshua heard the noise of the people and he said to Moses, there's a noise of war in the camp. Moses left the mountain with Joshua after being up there for 40 days with the tablets that was written by the hand of God. Joshua said, do you hear that noise? It sounds like war. Moses was like, that ain't no sound of no war. They down there having a party. Let's park here. Joshua was right. There was a war going on, but not a physical war, more of a spiritual war. The people forgot the God that they served and what they were supposed to do, because Aaron forgot who he was. Moses left them in charge, y'all, in Exodus 24:14. He told the elders, wait here for us until we return to you. Aaron and Hur are here with you. Whoever has a dispute should go to him. Aaron had been with Moses throughout his journey, and he heard what God said. He was supposed to be one of the first believers, but he was so easily manipulated. Ladies, don't forget who you are. Or most important, what God told you. Because if God said it, you can count on it. Because he can do anything but fail. He will do just what he says. In Exodus 32:19-21, what did Moses do next? Moses started dancing in the calf and he became angry. He threw the 2 tablets and broke them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf that Aaron made and he threw it in the fire and he ground it into powder. He scattered it onto the water and he made the Israelites drink it. He asked Aaron, what did these people do to you that you have brought great sin upon them? Let's park here. I can only imagine what Moses looked like coming down from that mountain. He was angry. The people knew it. He came down with a great strength. Because anytime you spend time with God, you always coming back different. He burnt that idol to let them know. See, this means nothing. Because look at how easily it can be destroyed. Then he made them drink it. I knew Moses was an OG. But this right here, yep, I'm going to make you drink the very thing that which you worship. That's real gangster. Then he asked Aaron, and how did you allow this to happen? I left you in charge. You are gifted. Why would you let these people make a fool out of your gift? Well, let's park here. Aaron, what possible could these people have said to you to make you turn from what it is that you know? God expects more from the gifted. He expects us to carry ourselves a certain way. How can he trust you with more when he can't trust you with the little he had given you?
Girl, you better preach.
Proverbs 18:16 says, a gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. In Exodus 32:22 through 24. But what did Aaron say? What was his rebuttal to all this? What he possibly said to make this right? He said, don't let the anger of my Lord become hot. You know the people we dealing with, they are evil. They said, make us gods that should go before us, because Moses, the one that brought us out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. So I said to them, whoever has any gold, break it off. And they gave it to me. And then I just threw it in the fire. And the calf came out. Aaron had the nerve to ask Moses to calm down and not be so angry, making excuses like we do. I mean, you know, the type of people we dealing with. Aaron let his gift become a curse, because at the time it seemed harder for him to stand up to these people and stand up for God than to go with the people and what they wanted. He was making excuses for his own inadequacies, for his failure as a leader. This is what we do, though. Sometimes we don't take accountability for what we do wrong. We blame others for what happened. The people asked for this, even though he knew it was wrong. He allowed these people to use his gift against him. Prime example of how his gift became a curse. Aaron didn't stand on Genesis 50:20. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Girl, you better run. In Exodus 32:25 through 26, what did Moses do next? Moses saw that the people were out of control. So he stood in the entrance of the camp and he said, whoever is on the Lord's side, come to me. And all of the sons of Levi came to him. Moses gave the children of Israel the opportunity to choose God. Sadly, the Levites were the only ones to come and stand for God. Let's park here. Choosing God, ladies, is just that. It is a choice. He is not going to make us. We have free will. And he does things to let us see that walking with him is better than walking without him. But it's up to us to make the choice. Galatians 5:13. You, my sisters, were called to be free. But do not use your freedom to indulge the sinful nature. Rather, serve one another in love. In Exodus 32:27 through 29, what happens next? In Exodus 32:27 through 29, what happens next?
So I got confused right here. So let me make sure I got it correct. Moses told the Levites, grab a sword and kill, the opposers, the ones who did not. Is that correct?
You better say that, Chantony. Say it louder. You better say it louder. He said 3,000 men were executed. The sons of Levi went in the camp. They killed their brothers, their companions, and their neighbors. Then Moses said, consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, that he may bestow on you a blessing this day. For every man has opposed his son and his brother. But you're going to be blessed because you were obedient. And we all know that the Bible says obedience is better than sacrifice. But let's park here. Either you with Jesus or you not. And if you're not, at this time in the Bible, before the New Testament, because thank you, Jesus, thank you, God, for Jesus. But in the Old Testament, if you ain't with him, you against him, you got to go. The Levites executed 3,000 people in the name of Jesus because of the sin of their idolatry. My God, Malcolm X said, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. So my question tonight, ladies, that you write down and you get your thoughts, what do you stand for? In Exodus 32:30 through 32, what did Moses do next? What did he do next? He went to the Lord on the Israelites' behalf and said, I know these people have committed a great sin and made themselves a god of gold. But can you please forgive them? Because if you can't, then I pray that you take me out of your book that you have written. Moses didn't even try to minimize what the children of Israel did because they was guilty of worshiping this golden calf. Moses said, if you can't forgive them, then take me out of your book. He offered himself as if he could rescue these people. But let's park here. Moses is a real leader because he's trying to fix what Aaron messed up. Aaron was the one that did all this. Aaron ain't the one going begging because Aaron allowed the people to use his gift as a curse. Let's park here. Ladies, being gifted comes as a price, and everybody might not like it. You will lose some people because when you are gifted, you have to think with a different mindset. You can't do everything that other people do, go everywhere they go, because you have been called to do something great, and greatness requires sacrifice. He is great, and he wants you to be great with him. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness, the power, the glory, the victory, and the majesty. Everything in the heavens and on earth is yours. 1 Chronicles 29:11. In Exodus 32:33-35, what was God's response?
He sent the plague.
Yes, Lord. He said, whoever has sinned against me, I'm going to take their name out of my book. So go and lead the people to the place I told you about, and my angel will go before you. However, there will be a day that I'm going to visit you and instill my punishment upon the Israelites for their sin. And the Lord plagued the people because of what they did with the calf that Aaron made. Let's park here. God will get the glory out of even this. Even when we let our gifts be used for evil, somehow, some way, God will get the glory out of it. He is a merciful God and a forgiving God. He forgives us even when we don't deserve it. Isaiah 61:3 says, he will bestow on them a crown of beauty. Instead of ashes, the oil of joy. Instead of mourning, and a garment of praise. Instead of a spirit of despair. Okay. Before I tie this together, any questions?
It's not so much a question, it's more of a statement. When they say God is a jealous God.
My God, that's what they said. That's what
and also, I just wanted to read, I could say this for the end. I wait till you see if you learned anything. I wait for that part.
Okay, well, all right. So let me, let's tie it together. Make sure we got it straight. Okay, hold on. What did we learn?
So for me, in this sense, I look at God as a father, like a parent, and pretty much, for me, it was kind of like, I feel like looking at it from a parent's point of view, it's kind of difficult, to see like your children and stuff, how do you have to teach them responsibility and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they have to face full consequences for their wrongdoings.
For their actions, yes.
So that's how I was looking at it.
Okay, I like it. Anybody else?
I kind of realized something like looking back on my notes about Moses, because this chapter kind of really showed me how much of a great leader he was. Like now he's starting to really show why God chose him.
Why God chose
him. Remember
him.
at first he was so timid and so reluctant. He was just very cautious. Now he like, no. He's even coming to the point where he's standing in discernment and questioning God himself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of great to see him transition into this bold leader. But also, I thought it was ironic because only the Levites followed him, and he himself is a descendant of Levi. So I was like, well, that's really your people. Because I was like reading back in my notes trying to figure out Moses was from what like
tribe?
What tribe. And I believe I jotted down he was from Levi himself as well. So it's like you never know who really will be your following or be the people that give you your calling and give you kind of your moment.
Absolutely.
So cool.
And what I learned is when we were reading about all of the things that God told them to do, how he wanted them to prepare the tabernacle, and he gave them all of them the dimensions and all of the specifications. I didn't realize at the time when we were reading it, it hadn't been built yet. So when I got to this part, I was like, wait a minute, I'm confused, right? So he was giving it to Moses on the mountain, what he wanted them to do, but he hadn't even given it to the people yet. Now he asked them for this gold. That's how I figured it out, because when I had to go back to see, wait a minute, he asked the people for the gold, which was going to be used for the building, but he didn't even get the opportunity to get the gold that he asked them for, because Aaron had stepped in to make a gold calf.
So all those chapters we was reading about materials.
Yeah.
He wasn't even building it.
This is what God was telling Moses. This is what I want you. This is what I want you to do.
So he just envisioning it.
Yeah, basically. He was telling them this. This is the plans. Basically, he giving them the architectural drawing, but he didn't even get a chance yet to give it to the people, because he was up on the mountain for 40 days. And that's what the people were concerned about. He was gone. So they didn't see him. They saw no evidence of him. They still had no interaction from him, no words from him. So they thought he was gone. They thought he deserted them. So that's why he was like, well, Aaron, we need a new God, because we don't know what happened.
Pressure. He folded under pressure.
Yeah,
so
he
should have like
go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere.
He said, like, y'all need to sit down because he coming back. Just calm.
Just calm down. He's gonna be back.
He never mistaken us before. Chill out.
He had a whole party, y'all. That's the part that tripped me out. Like, y'all had a whole feast. Y'all had a whole party.
I just feel Aaron should have known better. He seen miracles.
He had a relationship with God himself.
Yes.
Was Aaron one of the people that got killed? They were killing.
I had to verify to make sure. So I knew that was going to be a question that was going to come up. He didn't die.
This is like another time where he didn't send somebody to kill the whole village. Remember, somebody got raped and the brothers killed everybody.
Yeah, the brothers went back and they killed everybody. They was like, because that's because when they
in Levi.
It was the
time
when Donna got raped by the men.
Their sister and their brothers went killed.
They said everybody gotta go.
All right.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Alexis.
I don't understand why Aaron didn't get killed. He did all that.
That's what I was saying too.
You was the leader. You were supposed to be directing the people while Moses wasn't there.
I felt like that too. Like I was like, let me just make sure, because before I didn't want to say, because Aaron gone too, but y'all he ain't get the wrath. So I guess
he deserved it more than anybody.
You better say it, because he knew better. But I guess when he said, like Shantini said, because he was of the Levi tribe, when he said, who is with Jesus? Because Aaron was his brother, He from that same mob. He said, look, I'm with you. Because at that moment,
he's not with him. He's a fake.
He is. I get it. I
just feel
definitely
like
get it.
His faith wavered at that point when, in the absence of 40 days, his faith wavered, and maybe he thought God really did abandon now. Maybe I mean, I'm not making excuses for Aaron, because I agree he should have burnt with the rest of them. But I'm just saying maybe he did have wavering faith at that point, which I mean, of course.
Yeah. Also, I thought too, y'all. What if he said, now it's my turn to lead?
Which is worse. That's why you should go even more.
Yeah. Now it's my turn to lead.
See, y'all got some real good suspicions.
Yeah, because I
thought he just got tired of hearing the complaints.
No,
that's all.
Now it's my turn to lead, and now that I'm the true leader, I'm going to lead them the way I want to lead them. Because
he had to die too.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I really felt like he should have been punished too. But I guess we're going to continue on our readings and see what happens, how he redeems himself, if he do or if he don't. But, it's funny because he still didn't tell the whole truth.
Right.
He was like, they gave me their gold and I just threw it in the fire. Sir, you put a whole engraving tool on that. You left that part out. You let these people come and take away your gift that you had, that was given to you, your gift of leadership. And where did you lead them? You led them to their death.
He's
Aaron is an example to learn from.
How not to lead?
Or that not everybody is meant to be a leader in the first place. Because he should not be in a position if you're going to fold under pressure like that, sir.
I mean, I guess, but this is the thing. He had did good over everything else. Think about it. He was standing with Moses when they was like, let my people go. He was going up in front of Pharaoh and he was speaking for his brother.
But that's performative. When a real test came, he wasn't down.
He wasn't down.
That's his position. He's the backup. He's like, I'm the second. I got your back.
He was the backup though, Shantonese, because he didn't have his back. Because if I'm in your tribe and we down together, if you leave your people with me and I'm for you,
supposed to have his back. Correct.
Your people should come back. If they come back changed, it should be for the better. It ain't gonna be for the worse. Because it shouldn't come back saying, well, Aaron told me do this, and I know you told us to fold the bread this way, but Aaron said we could do it this way and it would be better. So no, you didn't. You failed these people. And I wonder if that was his real punishment, though. Because maybe God felt like death would have been too kind. I want you to really look at your consequences of your actions. You allowed these people. You knew better. You allowed these people to persuade you to do something that you know was wrong. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you.
You know what else that really stuck out? It feels like that, you must live out God's purpose, even when it's unpopular with other people.
Absolutely.
That goes back to the bed too. Like, you must live out your purpose, even if what you're doing, other people don't get it. And they don't see the vision.
Or they don't like the way you're doing it. So I didn't want to give away the whole show, because I want, if y'all into like series, go ahead and watch it, because it's really, really a great show. I'm telling you,
it's really good, y'all. I'm almost done season 2.
Ashley always getting us to watch. I'm telling you, and it's crazy because I wasn't going to tell y'all this, but I'm going to tell y'all now. I was prepping for my colonoscopy, so I was like, oh my God, I need something to keep my mind off of things. So for 2 hours, I'm telling you, I was going back and forth from the kitchen drinking that prep. And I come past the TV, and I'm like, Sean, what are you watching? He said, I don't know. Ashley talking about this show good on Hulu. So I'm just going to check it out, but I'm going to only watch one episode. The very first episode, he letting his bear out the cage. I was like, what is going on? But I sat down, and I'm telling y'all, it is so good. I was like, oh my God. I said, Ashley done got us again. But that first season got me through my prep. So if y'all bored and y'all need something to do, and you know it's going to be a bad weather this weekend and you ain't watching football, get a bad chance. And you will see why it won a Golden Globe. I will say, I was like,
It,
oh
it won
man.
several Golden Globes, and
I
it's
was-
also on Apple TV if you don't have Hulu.
But because I was like, oh my God, it won the best. Because I'm telling you, I was really mad. Because if you watch Abbott Elementary, I love that show. It's so funny. And I was like, the bear? What's this? Right? But it was really good. So that's why I said, don't judge a show based on the title, and give different things a chance. But before we go, did anybody else have any final thoughts or things that they want to say about this week? No? Okay. Well, all right then. You know what I say. You loved it. I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. This was fun to teach. We'll see where the Lord take us next week. But yes. So next week we'll be meeting the same time. Next week, Thursday. Yes, we'll be meeting the same week, same Thursday, same time. Same book. We almost through Exodus, y'all. Before we know it, we'll be going into our next book, and I'm excited. And y'all know, like I say every week, I can't wait to keep it real with y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all week. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.